Conference that has had an incredible regular season, and now all 16 of them have gathered here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, for what is sure to be a fantastic 5 days of basketball action, culminating in an SEC tournament champion on Sunday. It's the number 16 seed, the South Carolina Gamecocks, against the number 9 seed, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coach Cal, in his first year with the Hogs, walking on in here in Nashville. You're watching the SEC tournament on the SEC Network. Great building, great town, great venue, great field. Look at this. So many ranked teams, obviously. So many teams headed to the NCAA tournament. And even here on day one, how often do you see this? So many meaningful games for teams with postseason aspirations. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside of Bridgestone Arena. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Jess Sims will join us momentarily. You look at the day one games, and it feels like it should be day 2 or day 3, but that's how good these teams are.
I've never seen anything like this year's Southeastern Conference. 16 teams, and on day one, 6 of the 8 teams are either firmly in the field or right on the line. It's absolutely extraordinary. A lot on the line today.
Arkansas started conference play very, very poorly. They started 0-5. They're missing 2 of their best players, but they finished strong, winning 8 of their last 13. And at the moment, they appear to be on the right side of the bubble, but you don't want to mess around and lose to the 16 seed on the day one of the tournament.
Absolutely. Important game for Arkansas. They're without Adu Thiero, their top scorer, but they really have to get the ball to the basket, and they have to pay attention to Colin Murray-Boyles, the best player for South Carolina, one of the best players in the country. High-level scorer, high-level rebounder, outstanding defender. Last time against Arkansas, he put up 35 points against the Razorbacks. The Razorbacks could not stop him, and it's job number 1. They have to stop him in this game to win.
Murray, Boyles, and Pringle combined for 53 points. That's just 11 days ago when South Carolina beat Arkansas by 19. For more on the guy they call CMB, here's Jess Sims.
Colin Murray-Boyles is a force all by himself, but he's even stronger with his girlfriend, Chloe Kitts, who's a sophomore on the women's basketball team at South Carolina. And she actually just won MVP after they secured the SEC tournament championship on Sunday. Colin told me yesterday that he is so proud of Chloe and smiles so big because of everything he is accomplishing. He said they support each other by being competitive, and they even have a chart that they have all season where whoever plays better gets a mark. He said he's been winning so far this season, but this MVP status, Dan, that's got to give a couple extra marks and a lot more motivation for today's game.
Absolutely, and he's had a wonderful year. Second team All SEC, projected as a first-round pick if he decides to go pro after this year. For South Carolina, Lamont Paris, their coach's 3rd year. Yes, just 2-16 in the league, Jay, but as you well know, close loss after close loss after close loss in conference play. They can jump up and beat just about anybody in this league if they have a really good day.
Well, they've proven it, and they've played in so many close games in an extraordinary league. And Lamont Paris has done an outstanding job. They had a 15-game improvement from 2 years ago to last year. I think their record just shows you how strong this SEC really is.
And again, the one meeting between these two programs this year just 11 days ago, and it was South Carolina that won easily by 19, and that score actually flattered Arkansas. The Hogs basically with a 7-man rotation. Boogie Flan has been out for a couple of months after thumb surgery, and Adu Thiero missing his 5th consecutive game with a knee injury. It's a very tight rotation, but it's 7 very talented guys.
South Carolina starting out this game switching on ball screens. That put Colin Murray-Boyles on DJ Wagner and did a good job staying in front. You're going to see, Dan, Arkansas is going to drive it at every opportunity. They want to get it to the rim and get to the foul line.
They turn it over. A look at the starting 5 for the Gamecocks, including, as we mentioned, Colin Murray-Boyles, second team All-SEC. Jamari Thomas, number 6. They look to him to score as well, averaging better than 13 a game. A look on the inside for Nick Pringle, but it won't go. The Arkansas lineup. Jonelle Nellie Davis, DJ Wagner in the backcourt. Carter Knox playing big minutes over the last couple of months. And Trevin Brazile has had a couple of great games in the last 2 weeks.
One of the truly outstanding athletes in college basketball. Trevin Brazile plays above the rim.
Murray Boyles will swing it to a wide open Jacoby Wright, who knocks down the three from the wing.
South Carolina is sharp starting this game out. They've been very good on their rotations, on their switches the first couple of Arkansas possessions. Even when they've been caught with a mismatch, they have fought.
And it got to be in feeling fairly confident, having beaten the Hogs easily just a week and a half ago. The first bucket will go for Davis and Arkansas.
What a smart play by Jonelle Davis. You saw Colin Murray Boyles was there as a help defender, but he had to get back out to his man, and Davis waited and then went to the basket as a result of that rotation.
Arkansas's won 4 of its last 5. The only loss was to South Carolina. They had a thrilling one-point win over Mississippi State on Saturday, but it's Jamari Thomas knocking one down and a couple of early threes for the Gamecocks.
That's the 45th three on the season for Jamari Thomas. Him getting off to a good start is important.
This is the 9-16 game, the first game here at the tournament. The winner will play the 8th seed Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon. Brazile will try a three and hit it. Not only a spectacular athlete, but a 39% three-point shooter on the season.
Well, he's been a different player the last 4 games. 10 points a game, 10 rebounds, 60% from the field, and 8 of 16 from 3.
Murray Boyles with the answer. 3 threes already for South Carolina.
You don't want to let Colin Murray Boyles get started. He's not only an outstanding scorer, he can really pass.
And a foul on Nick Pringle, preventing what could have been a dunk for Zvonimir Ivisic.
Just an open side pick and roll, and Ivisic is so good with that because he can roll or pop. And Murray Boyles, he's not known as a three-point shooter. He's only made 8 on the season coming into this one, but when he's wide open, he's going to take it. And when he adds that to his game, a reliable three-point shot, he will be absolutely unguardable. Unguardable.
Ivisic at the line, the guy known as Big Z, one of several players who came with John Calipari from Lexington to Fayetteville this year. He has averaged about 10 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Also second in the SEC in blocks this season, behind only Auburn's Jedi Broome.
And even though he's over 7 feet tall, over half of Ivisic's shots are three-point shots. He's more of a three-point shooter than a post player.
He's got the length on Pringle, but Pringle would appear to have the strength on Ivisic.
And you're going to see South Carolina look to go inside at every opportunity.
Right, short on the 15-footer for the rebound, down to Brazile.
Don't know that that was a shot that Lamont Paris wanted.
Little stutter step by Davis, forces it up, and he draws a foul. Lamont Paris in his 3rd year as the head coach in Columbia, longtime assistant at Wisconsin. And in talking to him yesterday, you can hear some of those Wisconsin principles coming out. You talked about the huge improvement last year, 26 wins, NCAA Tournament Coach of the Year.
As Coach of the Year last season, he spent 5 years at Tennessee Chattanooga, where he did an outstanding job. And he's done an outstanding job at South Carolina.
John Calipari, after a lengthy run, of course, at Kentucky, his first year with Arkansas. And even though they've lost 2 of their best players, one a couple of weeks ago, one a couple of months ago, they still got a shot. They may be on the right side of the bubble right now. We'll show a quote later from John Calipari. He knows everybody said, hey, this team is done. How have they been able to play better over the last several weeks?
Well, they're driving the ball more, and you've seen it in this game. And South Carolina's got to be mindful not to foul on these drives.
A great drive there by Zachary Davis. He was trying to do some damage, and he'll head to the line.
He forced Ivisic to foul him if he wanted to challenge that. Just a terrific skip pass and the aggressive drive of the DJ Wagner closeout. That's a smart play by Zachary Davis.
The 6'7" junior from Orangeburg, South Carolina, in his 3rd year in the program, averages about 7.5 per game. but he can jump up and put some big numbers on the board. He's had a couple of 22-point games this year, and they weren't against nobodies. One of them against Mississippi State, one of them against Florida. That Florida game is the biggest heartbreaker that this South Carolina program has had. They only trailed for 5 seconds of the game, but it was the last 5 seconds. Obviously, they lost the game, lost by 1, but they've been right there with so many good teams in the SEC this year. Jordan Butler into the game, a stretch big, a 7-footer. Almost every shot he's taken, 33 out of 36 this year, have been from beyond the arc. And ready to go. Davis, the drive, the kick. Brazile in the corner, short on the 3. And it's down to the Gamecocks.
Early on, South Carolina's help side defense has been very good. They've shown a lot of bodies to Arkansas in the lane because they know the Razorbacks are coming to them. They're not going to be launching up threes unless it's at the end of a clock. Or here,
Carter Knox on the feed from Davis, misses the 3, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Arkansas ball. When do we come back? A 1-point lead in the early going. South Carolina, Jay, knocking down some threes.
Well, they're an inside-oriented team and want to get the ball inside. But when you're this open, you have to pull the trigger on a 3. And thus far, South Carolina has been knocking them down, including Colin Murray Boyles. That's a check mark in his category.
SEC Men's Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Bush's Chili Magic. What a great town. What a great, vibrant scene downtown on Broadway. So many people coming from all over this conference to see basketball over the next 5 days. And why wouldn't you want to see more SEC basketball? The top seed Auburn looking to repeat right now. Our Joe Lunardi has 13 of the 16 in, although a couple of them maybe not comfortably. Texas, he's got just on the outside looking in. We'll have Texas in the next game against Vandy. Not a home court advantage, but a hometown advantage for the Commodores here in Nashville. Texas and Vandy, our second game today, should be a very interesting one, as every game in this tournament figures to be. South Carolina by 1 in the early going. They've made 3 threes already. DJ Wagner, much more the point guard after the injury in January to Boogie Fland. His assists per game have gone up. His scoring per game has also gone up. Again, Jay, there's only really 7 of them for Arkansas right now. Everybody knows they're getting a lot of minutes and a lot of touches. Davis in transition. Brazile down with it.
Looked like he got fouled there, but keep an eye on Colin Murray Boyles as he plays defense. He's in a tough spot right there to get a stop, but he forced Ivica to shoot over him. But you are looking at one of the truly elite defenders, not only in the SEC, but nationally. He's switching out, help defense, moves his feet. I mean, DJ Wagner, he was guarding him after a switch, and Wagner couldn't get past him. And still he's able to work as a help defender once Wagner gave it up. Just outstanding.
Davis's 3, no, but Ivica up there for the rebound. Back comes Wagner. Yeah, Lamont Paris obviously raves about Colin Murray Boyles, but opposing coaches do as well, as DJ Wagner puts Arkansas in front.
That's where DJ Wagner can really help this team. He's shooting it much better of late. Last 2 games, about 19 points per game, 5 of 8 from 3. If he can knock those shots down, it opens up some driving lanes, and he's better driving left than he is right.
Morris Ugasu for South Carolina. He is their best shooter. Look at the great position inside, and Murray Boyles draws a foul committed by Brazile.
Colin Murray Boyles again did the really smart thing. He stopped and posted when he was open. He didn't just run to the block. And for big guys, oftentimes your default position is the low block right outside the lane. But you need to post when you're open. He just sealed his man right under the basket. That's called doing your work early. Like, he didn't need to make a post move where he caught it. He was so deep.
in the SEC this year. 8th in scoring, 3rd in rebounding, 1st in field goal percentage.
Watch where Murray Boyles posts Trevin Brazil, right under the basket. He didn't just run to the block. That's really smart by an incredibly intelligent player at both ends of the floor. And Lamont Paris was telling us yesterday, he's such a tough shot maker. The next step for him is working for the easy shot.
He also talked about him almost being unselfish to a fault sometimes, that he'd rather make the great pass than score the basket. And sometimes what they need is him to be aggressive trying to score. And he certainly was in the game against Arkansas when he had 35.
You know, there's a lesson in the unselfishness point for you there.
You'll get your touches when I say you'll get your touches. Billy Richmond into the game. Nice feed underneath. And Jonas Aidoo, who also just checked in, lays it up and in to put Arkansas in front. And now Davis with a steal, but Butler with a block.
South Carolina put themselves in a bind with that turnover, but Butler saved the day. What a terrific block.
Wright using the ball screen, gets into the paint and just left it short. Boy, he did great work to do about 90% of the job, but he just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, you have to finish it. That's the most important part. The last part is the most important part.
Aidoo, the Tennessee transfer, has had some big games recently. The turnaround will go. Arkansas by 4.
With the Due Theroux, the Razorbacks' leading scorer, out with injury, it's really kind of amazing how other players, when they need to be needed, will step forward. And Jonas Aidoo is one of those. He was all SEC last year, and he's playing like it now.
Butler for 3. We told you he's a stretch big. That's what he does, and he brings him back within 1.
He is doing exactly what South Carolina needs him to do. Hit open shots and protect the rim.
Richmond left alone, and he'll knock down the 3.
Not sure whether that left foot was on the line. It was certainly close to it. The referees will take a look at it at the next break. But Arkansas, not known as a perimeter shooting team, but they've already knocked down a couple of threes.
Jay, if that is a 3, that is his first of the season. He is very comfortable in the mid-range, but he had been 0 for 10 shooting threes before that one.
Well, not anything against South Carolina, but for his sake, you hope his foot was behind the line. Give him the 3.
The double team, they get out of it. 3 on the shot clock. The extra feed, and Butler lays it in.
What a pass, and Butler did a terrific job to get up high and release that ball. That was a strong take by Butler.
Good pace, and both teams doing well at the offensive end in the early going. 19-17, just over 8 minutes in. Aidoo again. Inside 10 on the shot clock. Now Davis knocked away by Butler, and it will stay with Arkansas when we come back. Well, let's get a look going to break. Will they look at it? Ooh, that's a 3. Billy Richmond hit his first 3 of the season.
And what a beautiful pass by Jacoby Wright.
Well, last time when these two teams met, it went horribly at the offensive end for Arkansas. 13 minutes into the game, they had 3 points. They were down 35 midway through the second half. They've already made as many threes today as they made in that entire game. And all 3 of their threes in that game came in the last few minutes when the matter was way out of hand. They are doing a much better job offensively. Billy Richmond III has hit his first 3 of the season. Yesterday at practice, Richmond was taking threes, and John Calipari was just walking by him saying, it's an elbow jumper. It's an elbow jumper. Like he was trying to almost hypnotize him into thinking, hey, you can make this shot. And he just made his first one of the season here today. The pull-up by Knox, a little bit strong. And the rebound down to South Carolina. That is Benjamin Bosmans-Verdonk from Belgium, a 6th-year player. 3 years at Illinois, had a redshirt, medical redshirt year there, 3rd year in South Carolina. Pringle could not handle the pass, and it's back to Arkansas.
Open side pick and roll, just couldn't corral the ball. Nick Pringle's got to have a good game in this one. He had 18 last time these two teams played and was dominant inside.
Wagner, no. Brazil going after it. Out of bounds. It's South Carolina ball. But several examples already early today that Brazil has brought his aggressiveness to the game. And when Trevin Brazil plays with peak aggressiveness, he can change the outcome of a game.
Well, you remember how dynamic he was before he was injured. And he's starting to get back to that where he looks 100%. And his last two games, he has been excellent. Almost 13 rebounds a game over that stretch.
Yeah, they beat Vandy 90-77 a week ago. He had 16 points, 14 rebounds. At times just dominated the game. Tipped away by Wagner.
Well, Nick Pringle was open inside, but that deflection took that away.
Richmond into the paint and draws the foul. He is, I know he took a three, but he is always in attack mode. He always wants to try to get to the rim if he can.
Well, he's a lefty, and as you say, he's a driver. And his middle game is very good, but he's got a 40-inch vertical. And you can go under screens on him and recover. I know he knocked that three down, but he is not a shooter. He's a driver, and you have to play him as such. And not foul. I mean, that's one thing South Carolina cannot afford to do because Arkansas gets so much of their offense right now from the foul line.
They are averaging 29 free throw attempts per game the last 5 games. And John Calipari has been on them to drive the ball more. Davis a corner three. Murray Boyles the rebound and a quick push ahead. Thomas. And that's going to be a goaltend, and Brazil knows it. He knows he shouldn't have touched it, that it wasn't going to be going in, but it was clearly after it had hit the glass.
Yeah, it looked like there was a foul on that play, that Thomas got fouled. That's not legal guarding position. But yeah, that is not one you just leave it alone. And for both South Carolina and Arkansas, but especially for South Carolina in this game, it's hard to convince yourself of this, but you have to make Arkansas make shots without fouling them. You're trying to take away everything, but just make them make a tough one.
And then an errant pass, miscommunication between Wagner and Ivisic. Murray Boyles lays it in, and South Carolina leads, and John Calipari is furious.
Well, so's Ivisic. He wasn't looking. He was trying to set a screen, and Wagner threw the ball to him, threw it away.
Back in 30. 9:57 to go. First game of the SEC tournament here in Nashville. South Carolina leading by 2. What do you think happened here, Jay?
Well, it's just a miscommunication. I mean, they started off in one thing with Ivisic at the elbow. Then he went to set a ball screen. So he was looking at the angle of the screen instead of the ball. And Wagner passed it to him, wound up turning it over, and you can't guard a run out.
And John Calipari evidently was unhappy with Ivisic after the play. He took Ivisic out of the game. Wagner is still in. Jonas Adu has come in to replace Ivisic. Again, Arkansas at the moment, according to Joe Lunardi, is in on the right side of the bubble. Are they safe? You never know how many bid stealers there might be. It would behoove the Hogs to win this game, to not lose to the number 16 seed in the SEC. South Carolina would love nothing more than to play spoiler. Richmond with a lay-in to tie it up.
And a fabulous rebound by Billy Richmond. He was surrounded by 2 South Carolina rebounders. He was just quicker to the ball and took it away from him. That's one that South Carolina should have had, but Billy Richmond made it Arkansas's.
Thomas kind of lost it trying to make a pass. Now Davis. Boy, and the Arkansas guys driving right into the paint, right at the defense and trying to get to the rim.
Well, that's what they do, especially in transition. They're going to get the ball to the rim. This is not a prolific shooting team. Not that they can't make shots, but they want to put pressure on your defense in the lane. And then if they kick it out, they have something that's stepping in.
That was John L. Davis, of course, 4 years at Florida Atlantic, played in a Final Four a couple of years ago, generally known as Nelly. Where are you on John L. versus Nelly right now?
I don't care.
Is it true you want me to start calling you? What did you say last night? You want to be J-Bone on the air?
J-Bone.
J-Bone. Yeah. Not sure that's happening.
I'd prefer sir, but Arkansas is starting to take off, and they're doing it with their defense. Their defense has created transition opportunities, and now they have a 5-point lead over South Carolina. J-Bone.
You've only got 7 guys. They've all got to play well. And Billy Richmond III has come off the bench and played very well in the early going, Jay, for the Hogs.
Lamont Paris has to think that was our rebound, and Billy Richmond took it away. And then if you are not strong with the ball, Arkansas is deflecting it and turning it into quick offense. And DJ Wagner has been shooting the ball so much better of late. He's a driver as well. But right now, you have to play him as a shooter. He's knocking him down.
7-0 run, Arkansas up by 5 with 8:37 to go in the first half. The winner to take on Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon.
I think right now South Carolina's got to be thinking, let's get the ball to Colin Murray Boyles, let him go to work.
And here's a touch defended by Adu, a good defender and a 7-footer. Murray Boyles will step out. Now he's going to drive it and somehow found enough room to lay it up and in.
Talk about a tough shot maker. Arkansas let him drive to his left, but that is a big time finisher. Colin Murray Boyles has unbelievable potential.
And he is grimacing. Colin Murray Boyles. He is dealing with some sort of discomfort as Adu scores at the other end. Worth mentioning that in the regular season finale for South Carolina against Tennessee, against Georgia on the weekend, that Colin Murray Boyles missed the last 5-6 minutes of the game with a bruised left thigh. Don't know if whatever this is has anything to do with that, but something to keep an eye on. Davis, and an errant pass sails out of bounds.
That one-handed hook pass, if you're jumping out of bounds to get an angle, that may be a good pass, but I don't think you want to make one-handed passes in this game. Colin Murray Boyles, he needs to touch the ball every time down because he is such an outstanding passer. But he gives a little shot fake, gets into the lane, just goes through 3 defenders and still able to get that shot to go. Talk about a tough shot maker. A lot of guys take them. He makes them.
Third year in a row, the SEC tournament has been in Nashville. It's going to be here for the foreseeable future, at least through 2030. Great town, great building, and as we mentioned earlier, a great field. This is day 1. The final will go on Sunday afternoon on ESPN. Arkansas, South Carolina. We've got Vandy, Texas coming later on, and then this evening, Mississippi State, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma. All the games are good. All the games are meaningful, and it's only going to get more and more intense.
has been confirmed.
A 5-point lead for Arkansas over South Carolina right now, and coming out of the timeout, Jess Sims was right in that South Carolina huddle.
Defensively, Lamont Paris was upset about not blocking out and getting stops. He said 28 points right now is unacceptable. It's the little things, and that's what matters. Offensively, though, we need to move the ball. We can call plays, but don't hang around at the top. Just play if that play doesn't work out. And most importantly, be aggressive.
Yeah, coaching is difficult, Jess, but one thing I would say to the South Carolina team right now is Colin Murray Boyles has 9 points. He's 3 of 3 from the field. He's got an assist. He doesn't have a turnover. Get him the ball.
How about at the other end? A nice feed from Wagner to Jonas Adu. Adu is already 4 for 4, 8 points in this game. And a 3 a little bit strong for Arden Conyers, a redshirt freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina now 4 for 7 from 3. They were not, or have not been, a good 3-point shooting team this year. And Lamont Paris does like to get the ball inside, does like to get high percentage looks. And again, as Jay just mentioned, that's your best guy right there. Get him the ball as much as you can.
Yeah, I think every time he touches it, something good happens because he's such a good passer. He draws so much defensive attention.
Adu looking for help. The handoff to Wagner. Ugasuk trying to stay with DJ Wagner. Easier said than done. And now a reach around foul on Jordan Butler. That'll be his first.
Adu did a really nice job there. Once he set that little screen and DJ Wagner got the ball, he just rolled down the middle of the lane and sealed off Butler. You know, he's so big and athletic and strong. And he was able to just carve that space out. There was nothing Butler could do about it. He just had to get around in front and foul him.
And again, we mentioned they're without Adu Thiero. who has had not a terrific year for Arkansas this year. Over 15 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. This is his 5th consecutive game that he is missing with a knee injury. There's no timetable for his return, yet they are playing good basketball even without him and Boogie Fland.
Well, other guys are able to step up into different roles. With Thiero on the floor, they might have a different role, but now they have to look to score a little bit more, and they're clearly capable. Good fake.
Thomas will knock down the 3, the 5th of the game, hit by the Gamecocks.
Well, the best thing that Jamari Thomas did right there was as soon as he caught it, he looked at the basket. And defenders react to that. If you're not looking at the basket, that's one less thing they have to think about. But a terrific shot fake.
And the reverse won't go for Richmond. Back comes Thomas. Last year at Norfolk State, the MEAC Player of the Year. And again, a good scorer this year for South Carolina, 13 a game. Murray Boyles driving on Adu, but he lost it out of bounds.
Yeah, first turnover. The first thing that Murray Boyles did when he caught it was look at the basket. Looks at the basket, just gives a simple little up fake, but because Wagner was concerned he was going to shoot it, that's what got him off balance. And Jamari Thomas was never off balance. Didn't have to give a violent fake. Yeah, he's been very well taught, and I can tell you where that started. He came to my basketball camp when he was a 9th grader.
He came over and thanked you yesterday for all of the things that he learned at your basketball camp. Looks like Trevin Brazil may have just banged knees with somebody. He appears to be okay, but it's definitely on his mind right now. Foul on Ugasuk, his first. See if we can get a look there, right there. Ugasuk looked like he got the worst of it, but Brazil feeling it a bit as well.
And that's just not a charge you're going to be able to get as a secondary defender. You have to rely on your help a little bit more there because Pringle was right behind him.
Richmond, boy, all kinds of contact and a block called on Nick Pringle. And that will be number 2 on a guy who is very important to South Carolina.
He just jumps from behind this Jonas Adu screen. That was a close one, but I just don't think you're going to get that call.
And again, that was Billy Richmond III driving, always looking to attack. The freshman from Memphis.
And one of the things that these drives do is that they're putting South Carolina in a position to foul. You have to make them make the tough shot over you.
Gamecocks have committed 6 fouls. Arkansas only 2. Another strong drive and a finish for DJ Wagner.
And that was great recognition by DJ Wagner. He saw that he was going against Pringle, put him in a position to foul, and Pringle had to back off.
Thomas the kick. Good cut by Ugasuk. Now another cut. It's Conyers, and he's fouled.
Thomas did the yeoman's work there of splitting that trap. Once he got in the middle of it, everything opened up.
So Arden Conyers at the line, coming off a good game Saturday at Tennessee. Knocked down 3 threes in that game against the Vols. Got some softball coming your way. Number 2 Texas, number 3 Florida start a big 3-game softball series Saturday at 2 Eastern right here on the SEC Network. Game 2 Sunday is at 1 Eastern on SEC Network Plus, and the series finale Monday night at 7 Eastern on the SEC Network.
Do you ever get a chance to watch much softball?
A little bit,
it's
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
They don't waste any time between pitches, and I would love to see major leaguers try to hit that stuff. I think it'd be tough
chance.
for them.
No, they've tried that, and major leaguers struggle terribly against it. Wagner defended by Thomas. Adu gives it right back to him. He steps behind the screen and misses the 3. And back comes Carolina down by 6.
Much better job defensively by South Carolina of keeping Arkansas in front and making them take a jumper.
Murray Boyles left it short, and it's out of bounds to Arkansas. Conyers went flying after it to try to keep it in bounds. Fortunately, not shaken up.
It's a difficult balance for South Carolina on the defensive end. Yeah, you want to give the ball handler a little bit of space because you're not as concerned about them pulling up and knocking down a shot. But at the same time, you don't want to give Arkansas too much space because they can start getting downhill at you, and then they become even more difficult to guard.
And probably a quick break here for Murray Boyle, sitting down just before the under 4 media timeout. And they're looking at that left thigh. Again, suffered a thigh bruise in the regular season finale and did not play the last 5-6 minutes. But by then, the game had kind of been decided and the outcome wasn't meaningful in the big picture. Aidoo meaningful in the big picture today for John Calipari.
South Carolina put 2 on the ball, and Arkansas handled it beautifully, but that meant Nick Pringle had to come over from the weak side. That could have been foul number 3 if you're not careful.
Conyers will try another one. Aidoo down with a rebound. Davis in transition. Aidoo for 3. And Conyers the rebound for South Carolina.
What a hesitation move Johnell Davis put on.
Both he and DJ Wagner, when they put their mind to getting somewhere, they got a pretty good chance to get there. Jacoby Wright. Now Jamari Thomas with the shot clock under 10. Gets to the rim and lays it in.
What terrific patience. I thought Trevin Brazil did a very nice job of presenting early as a help defender. But Thomas didn't overreact, just was very patient, got right around him after the hesitation.
Very vocal, getting back down on D. You can see the intensity on his face. Trevin Brazil, though, with his second 3 of the game.
He's just been fantastic over the last 4 games. 16 points, 14 rebounds against Vanderbilt, and had a double-double against Mississippi State.
Thomas, no. Aidoo another rebound. The lead has grown to 9 for Arkansas here late in the first half. Make it 11. Aidoo can't miss right now. He is 6 for 7, has 4 rebounds as well.
What a different game from the one these two teams played in Columbia, South Carolina. Arkansas having fun in this first half.
They had 14 in the first half in that game. They've got 41 here today.
Just switch the numbers.
Yes.
Pretty simple.
Pringle. Aidoo fouled by Bozeman's Verdonk. Jonas Aidoo's been great. Trevin Brazil's made some big plays. DJ Wagner's made some big plays. Everybody contributing right now for the Hogs.
And nobody complaining about playing time.
What's up, y'all? Coming up at a half, Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard going to join us on set. Remember, they have played the winner of Arkansas, South Carolina. There was 14 points last time these two teams played in the first half for your Hogs. What gets into them now?
Unlike that first game, they're dominating the paint today.
Yeah, Nick Pringle versus Jonas Aidoo. That will decide the game.
The matchup's there. DJ Wagner controlling the tempo.
Dan, JC, I'm on it.
Peter, thank you guys. Looking forward to that. They are going to be working a lot, covering all these games on the set. You can see it here inside Bridgestone Arena here on the SEC Network. It has been such an incredible year for the conference. This is game 1 of 15 here over the next 5 days here in Nashville. And Arkansas, as the guys just said, look like a different team than they did 11 days ago against the Gamecocks. 14 points in the first half in that one, 41 in this one. 55% from the floor. They've made 5 threes and 8 assists, only 3 turnovers.
And they've been disruptive defensively. Arkansas has forced 6 turnovers from South Carolina. And Jonas Aidoo, those 12 points, he's done that in 11 minutes. I mean, he's been a different player of late. And part of that is the opportunity provided without Adou Thiero in there. And sometimes players need to be needed. And both Jonas Aidoo and Trevin Brazil, they're needed right now, and they're stepping forward.
Those two, you see Thiero out again with a knee injury. Those two and Zvonimir Ivisic, it's basically 2 spots for those 3 guys. Everybody knows they're going to play a lot. Only 7 players in the rotation right now for John Calipari.
And Adou Thiero going with the Slobberin' Hog logo on his sweatshirt there.
You like the Slobberin' Hog?
I do. It's a throwback. But my question was, why couldn't they take the current hog on the uniform and just put some slobber?
Murray Boyles. Great move, great pass, great cut. But look who. Jonas Aidoo at the defensive end.
And Davis took it right into the shot block.
Brazil flying down the court and is headed to the free throw line. Terrific transition offense from Arkansas.
If you watch the tape of the game the last time these two teams played, you wouldn't recognize Arkansas. This is a totally different team than played in Columbia, South Carolina. They are alert. You probably should have gone up on the other side of the basket. You took it to the block shot, but Brazil, who was right there under the basket, just took off and raced down the floor using his athleticism. If you're that athletic, John Calipari's telling him, play like the athlete you are, and he is.
And he's got a nice touch as well. Knocks down the first. The foul on Murray Boyles, his second. Lamont Paris leaving him in the game. A minute 19 to go here in the first half. And Brazil makes them both. The lead continues to grow for the Hogs.
You're not going to see this South Carolina team give up half 100 in the first half very often.
And it looked like a little confusion getting into the offense where the big guys were supposed to be. Was everybody on the same page? They got it sorted out now. Murray Boyles, the kick. Davis wide open in the corner, misses the three.
Murray Boyles got Davis a wide open shot. Those are just shots you have to knock down.
They started 4 for 5 from 3, but they've now missed 5 of their last 6. Inside the final minute here in the first half.
Little box set.
Wagner, the drive, and lays it in with the left hand, and it's a 17-point lead.
All the help defense was looking at the back screen in the middle of the floor set by John L. Davis, and Wagner just waltzed all the way to the rim.
Aidoo and Wagner have both been great for Arkansas so far in this one. Jamari Thomas. Boy, he just keeps on driving, but this time Billy Richmond got him, and Thomas has done some very good things when he's gotten into the paint, but that time Richmond won.
We have seen Arkansas show their athleticism on both ends of the floor, but how engaged this team has been defensively has been really, really impressive this first 20 minutes.
It is an 11-0 run for Arkansas, and they've got time to get a last look.
I think you want to get it to the basket again.
Wagner. Brazil. Wagner for 3. And Arkansas will end the first half on an 11-0 run. It's their most points in the first half of an SEC game this season, and it's 33 more than they had in the first half against South Carolina just 11 days ago. A terrific first half by the Razorbacks, trying to advance on to the second round. We'll be back for the second half not that long from now, but let's send it now to the outstanding SEC Network crew with Peter Burns and the guys. Welcome back to the SEC Tournament here on the SEC Network. We are coming to you live from Nashville, and what a first half it was for a lot of Hogs, but especially 2 in particular. One of them, DJ Wagner, orchestrating everything. 10 points, 4 assists, and then Jonas Aidoo came in off the bench and just took the game over. 6 for 7, 14 points, 8 rebounds in the first half. Arkansas continues to play well as they have at the end of the season. The only exception, the last game against South Carolina, but this looks like a dangerous team right now.
Only playing 7 guys. They're getting up and down the floor. They're getting the ball into the paint, really putting a lot of pressure on the South Carolina defense. But I actually think the Arkansas defense has been excellent. But on the offensive end, Arkansas on this possession, keeping it in the middle of the floor, a little handoff action, give back. There's no help side. That means Butler has got to get back to Jonas Aidoo, but a terrific pass. And then just coming around a little handoff action and getting downhill. DJ Wagner was excellent. Goes right at Nick Pringle where he had those 2 fouls. A smart play by Wagner, but it's been really a 20 minutes of smart play by Arkansas. They were terrific in that first half at both ends of the floor.
It's time to look in the huddle, brought to you by Regions Bank. And again, Arkansas shooting the ball very well, both from the perimeter and getting high percentage looks by getting right around the rim. You can see the difference in the paint points. Arkansas plus 10 there. And Colin Murray Boyles again appears to be bothered again by that thigh that happened on the weekend. He did play well, has 9 points. Jess Sims had a chance to speak with Lamont Paris.
Yeah, Dan, Coach Lamont Paris was saying to me, listen, all we had to talk about was about competitively playing defense, right? Fighting through screens, getting back in transition better, rebounding the ball better, much like they did 11 days ago. And offensively, Dan, they got to be ready to shoot. They were more tentative, not so much right there, but maybe he was fatigued, but he said just let the ball go.
Well, a beautiful first play, Jess, thank you, as Nick Pringle has his first 2 points of the afternoon.
And Nick Pringle has played his best over the last 4 or 5 games. He has really been active in the paint and posting up. They have to make him more of a factor in this second half.
The Alabama transfer was a pretty big part of that team that went to the Final Four last year. Knox to the other end for the Hogs.
Carter Knox with another strong take to the basket. He got fouled there, just didn't get called.
Big brother Kevin played for John Calipari at Kentucky.
Another athletic player that is a driver first. He's got excellent scoring ability and a 6'10" wingspan. So when he gets the ball up to the basket, he can elevate over the top of you.
Deflected by Brazil. Couple of players on the floor. It is still loose. And somehow Thomas comes out of there with it. The shot clock never reset. And finally, it is out of bounds. I think all 10 players on the floor touched the ball in that possession, and not one of them had a firm handle on it.
But how about Colin Murray Boyles getting to the floor first when that ball was first knocked away by the leg of Trevin Brazil? He is fighting through that leg injury and the pain that he's suffering. He's kind of dragging that left leg behind him.
And Ivisic looks like he might have suffered some sort of an injury to his right hand. Was looking at that all the way down the floor. The double team. The kick out to Davis with 5 to shoot. Whoa. Colin Murray Boyles got all of that and then shows some good sportsmanship helping Davis back up.
Nick Pringle did a really nice job of presenting early as a help defender. That allowed him to get to that double team really quickly, but right on the midline.
Brazil just worked hard for inside position, and it pays off as he's got a chance for 3.
Almost a little brush screen from Johnell Davis, but he just fought his way to wedge in between the ball. And Nick Pringle just didn't give up on the play, got inside position, and that forced Pringle to foul him. That's just not a good foul for Nick Pringle.
Number 3 on Pringle. And Brazil at the line continuing to play well. He's already in double figures today. And again, if Brazil plays like this and Adu plays like this, this Arkansas team is dangerous in this tournament.
They're very athletic, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And your point on Brazil, and he shoots about 87% at the rim. When he gets it there, he finishes.
As my grandfather would say, what happened to the other 13? You see a guy like Brazil, and you wonder, because of his extraordinary athleticism, how it doesn't go in all the time when he's around the rim. But he is playing some of the best basketball of his career in the last couple of weeks. Jacoby Wright into traffic. The jump stop, and he banks it home.
Jacoby Wright is a good passer, but he took it on his own on that play. He had 20 points against Alabama, but he's not been shooting it as well of late. Coming into this game, he was 3 of his last 16 from three-point range.
A senior from Fort Mills, South Carolina, in his 4th year in the Gamecocks program. Knox driving, turns it over. First turnover since the midway point of the first half for Arkansas. And Pringle fouled by Ivisic. And Ivisic can have trouble with guys. He's got all the length, but again, Pringle is a stronger guy. And Murray Boyles and Pringle looking to back Ivisic down whenever they can.
Well, part of the problem was Ivisic tends to play straight up and down. And he didn't get wide enough and down with his lower base where he could stop that forward progress by Nick Pringle, who is just stronger.
Pringle could not handle the alley-oop attempt on the inbounds play. Billy Richmond can at the other end.
Give credit to DJ Wagner. He got that ball up court in a hurry. That's how you put pressure on your opponent's transition defense. What a big-time play by DJ Wagner.
His 5th assist of the afternoon. Zachary Davis misses the corner 3. Murray Boyles working hard and comes out with the ball. Deflected out of bounds by Davis.
Arkansas has been on point in everything. Just the quick advance after the pass ahead, and Nick Pringle can't corral the ball. But a terrific job by DJ Wagner to rush the ball up the court. Billy Richmond running the left lane. And all you have to do is throw it up. These are some athletes.
Some of these recent wins for Arkansas in this stretch where they have won 4 out of 5. As we have a foul on Adu, they include wins against Missouri, at Vandy, and then at home to Mississippi State. And as we told you, something going on with Zvonimir Ivicic's right hand. The thumb is what is getting looked at. And again, they only have 7 players in the rotation right now because of the injuries to Boogie Fland and Adu Firo. And that is his shooting hand.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to have him give the thumbs up, and he's not having a lot of success with it.
Obvious concern on the Arkansas bench given how thin the team is. And they may not need him today with the lead they've now got and the way that Adu is playing, but they've only got 7.
Yeah, when you were listing off some of the wins that Arkansas has had lately, one of the things that popped in my mind was what teams could you tick off in this league that wouldn't be impressive?
Right.
I mean, that's how good the league's been.
Yeah. You look at the number of quad 1 games if you're following the net, one of the metrics used by the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. Arkansas 6-9 in quad 1 games, 15 quad 1 games. You look at some other teams in other high major conferences, they could have 6, 8, 9, 10 quad 1 games. Teams in this league have anywhere between 15 and 20.
Well, before Duke played North Carolina in the last game of the regular season, I had seen something or read something about 14 of the 16 teams in the Southeastern Conference had more AP ranked wins than Duke did. And I asked some of our research people, this can't be true. Is this true? Like, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's really amazing when you think about it.
Well, I'll tell you what else. Again, the number 14. 14 of the 16 teams in this league were ranked for at least 1 week during this season.
Remarkable. Never seen anything like the SEC this year. Relative to the field, it's the best conference that we've ever seen.
Right now, Joe Lunardi has 13 in. Arkansas, one of those. He's got Arkansas as one of the last 4 byes. And he's got Texas as one of the first 4 out. Texas did not do themselves any favors by losing at home to Oklahoma on Saturday. We've got the Longhorns next in what you'd think is a must-win game for them against Vandy.
South Carolina's first shot defense was excellent on this possession, but they didn't grab the offensive rebound, and as a result, they give up a wide open 3 in the right corner to Trevin Brazile. That's how important it is to finish a defensive possession with a rebound. You don't do it, give up a 3.
Brazile now up to 14, matching Adu for the team high. A corner 3 will go in for Cam Scott, a 6'6" freshman from Lexington, South Carolina, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of South Carolina. Has not shot the 3-ball well at all this year. That's his 7th make in 44 attempts, but it looks like the freshman is going to get some run here in the second half.
Well, Cam Scott can really shoot it. I thought Lamont Paris yesterday said he needs a little more time to marinate, but he's got a ton of talent.
Yep.
Hadn't heard the marinate point in a while.
Brazile lost it. That ball's still live. And it's Thomas who has it erased, but count it. Chuck Jones, one of the officials today, says it's goaltending. Count the basket. And it will be an Arkansas 14-point lead going into this timeout. Getting all kinds of great performances. Everybody working hard. Game 1 here for the SEC tournament. Billy Richmond III with the flush on the alley-oop. Coach Cal is fired up.
That'll get you slobbering.
If you're going to make a move, it's got to be strong. They put their head down, they drive, the whistle blows. We dip and dive around the guy, there ain't no whistle. Tough and strong and aggressive versus soft and finesseful and ineffective. That's what it is for us right now, honestly. If you got an opportunity to go, you got to go.
That's been his message, drive aggressively. It's been John Calipari's message to his team as well. And Lamont Paris was talking about how aggressive the Hogs have been, and they're getting the calls because of it.
Has been overturned. Since there was no team control when it was recognized, the resumption of play procedures.
Meanwhile, you can hear one of the officials, Owen Short, is explaining to the crowd here they have reversed the call on the floor. This was originally called goaltending on Billy Richmond III, but that has been changed. It's a clean block. So take the 2 points off the board for the Gamecocks.
And because there was no team control, Arkansas takes it on the alternating possession. Really love to see that rule change. I think we need to stick with the call and go to the NBA system of having one challenge per team and be done with it.
Second block of the, and I agree with you, second block of the game for Billy Richmond III, the fourth for Arkansas. And Arkansas is among the national leaders in blocks per game this year, 5th in the NCAA at just under 6 per game. And with guys like Brazil and Richmond and Adu, you can see why. Richmond takes a bump, gets to the baseline, and knocks down the shot.
Well, there's that mid-range game that we were talking about after Billy Richmond III knocked down that 3 in the first half. He is a very confident mid-range shooter, probably because he makes them a lot.
18-point lead Arkansas here at round 1 of the SEC tournament, with Ole Miss awaiting the winner, the 8th seed, the Rebels. Jordan Butler misses the 3. And it is saved to Murray Boyles. A fresh 20 now for the Gamecocks.
Arkansas showing a lot of bodies to Colin Murray Boyles. They want him to give it up, make somebody else beat him.
Cam Scott, his second 3 since entering the game.
Now with the lid off, Cam Scott can be a more confident performer out on the floor.
Wagner on the bench, so Davis and Richmond doing the ball handling right now for Arkansas. Down to Scott, and here come the Gamecocks trying to cut into what is now a 15-point deficit as we see DJ Wagner get off the bench and get ready to check back in.
Jonas Adu with a foul, it looked like.
And here comes Wagner. Davis will sit. And Jamari Thomas back into the game for South Carolina. Thomas nowhere to go. Brazil in front of him.
Taking it to some tough areas down on the baseline.
Trying again. Look at the traffic. Look at the bodies, but he draws the foul.
Another patient drive by Jamari Thomas. Played off both feet. That allowed him to come to a jump stop, give a little up fake, and then Carter Knox left the floor. And that's what got that foul. This really good patience by Jamari Thomas.
We talked about all these close losses that the Gamecocks have had this year. Jamari Thomas missed 4 games with a knee injury in January. In that 4-game stretch, they lost to Auburn by 3, Vandy on the road by 3, and then Florida by 1. I mean, who knows what might have happened, and still they wouldn't have been up near the top of the SEC, but they'd have done better than 2-16 in SEC play.
Jamari Thomas was player of the year in the MEAC when he played at Norfolk State, also on the all-defensive team.
Richmond, no. Rebound, Murray Boyles.
How about that board? And playing through pain.
Thomas got it. And South Carolina not going away. They have cut it down to 11.
Arkansas's got to find a way to get to the foul line in this second half.
7-0 run, South Carolina in the last minute and a half. Knox deflected. And it's going to stay at this end of the floor. With a timeout on the floor, 11:58 to go. The South Carolina players pleading their case, saying that should be their basketball. Cam Scott wants it to be his, Jay, because he's knocked down a couple of threes in this game. Jamari Thomas has as well, and the Gamecocks make it a game of it. Well, a new head coach for the Hawks, of course, this year in John Calipari, and an entirely new team. Did not bring back a single returning point from last year's team. Started in the SEC 0-5, and people said they're done. They're not going anywhere this year. Then Boogie Fland injured his thumb, season-ending surgery. A couple of weeks ago, they lost to Duke Thiero as well. But they somehow have gone 8-5 in their last 13 games to put themselves what looks like on the right side of the bubble right now. John Calipari, who is always a good quote, said recently, everyone put us in a coffin after 0-5. They just forgot the nails. And don't look now, but the Hogs look like a dangerous team. It is South Carolina making a bit of a run right now. 7-0 Gamecocks run to get back within 11. The winner to advance to the second round. Big picture again, Arkansas appearing to be on the right side of the bubble. You don't want to lose your first game in a tournament, especially to a team that is not going to the postseason. But a win today should further cement things for Arkansas. You got to wonder, Jay, what the level of concern is about Zvonimir Ivisic, given that they only have 7 players in the rotation right now.
It certainly hurts them in this game, not having him in the rotation if he's unable to come back in, but you definitely are concerned about the future.
Butler misses a 3. Pringle keeps it alive. And the foul going against Arkansas. I think they got Adu, and if they did, it's number 3 on him.
Pringle was able to hold him off with that left arm and try to tip it with the right. And it looks like they're going to take a look. I don't know if they think there's some sort of hook and hold.
The previous play is under further review.
And Chuck Jones coming over, confirming what Jay was saying, that it is a possible hook and hold.
And it's a definite hook and hold.
Yeah.
They were both. It looked like it started as a swim move by Nick Pringle. I mean, there was definitely, I don't know if that is enough for a hook and hold. I mean, they had their arms tangled up. I remember back in the day that was called rebounding, but it didn't look like he pulled him down with it. And they're worried about injury with that hook and hold issue.
After review, the play is confirmed a common foul.
Just a common foul, not upgraded to a flagrant one. So the third on Adu.
Now Ivisic back in the ball game.
Yeah. First time in a while since he suffered what appeared to be a thumb injury that Ivisic is back in the game.
He's got 2 fingers taped up on his left hand and then the right thumb issue.
Brazil down with a rebound. Boy, that would have gotten it into single digits for South Carolina.
Boy, Jamari Thomas got a good shot. They can use him to come off a screen or set a screen, almost like a flex cut. But that time he got the screen.
One thing the Gamecocks could really use is some baskets from Morris Ugasuk, who is their best shooter, 41% from 3 on the season. He has played 11 minutes off the bench in this game, has yet to attempt a shot.
Well, they're playing him as a shooter, forcing him to drive it, just making sure they're right there on the catch.
Butler guarded by Brazil. Thomas up top trying to get by Wagner. Butler baseline. Off the rim and down to Ivičić.
What a rebound. Nick Pringle was right there to get an offensive rebound, but Ivičić just snatched it.
Arkansas hasn't scored in more than 3.5 minutes. Ivičić will have a chance to do so at the line.
A nice little step-up screen and roll to the basket on the open side on the right by Ivičić. He just steps up and sets that screen and then turns over his left shoulder instead of just opening up, because he could be quicker to the basket that way. And that's a play that I know John Calipari wants to see him finish, even though he got the contact.
And you just saw Ivičić kind of reach for that thumb again. Let's see how he looks shooting this free throw. Looks fine. Might not feel fine, but the ball went in. Colin Murray Boyles returns. Jacoby Wright back in as well.
South Carolina has not been able to establish an inside game. In the first game between these two teams in Columbia, they ran a lot of high-low stuff and really did a good job. I mean, Nick Pringle had 18 points. Colin Murray Boyles had 35. They were dominant, but this has been a different game.
Good help by Ivičić to stop right on the baseline. Now Murray Boyles. Strong finish.
And he's limping after that play. He got hit again.
He is grimacing noticeably as he makes his way back down on defense.
And that was such a tough shot. That was really challenged, and still he's able to make that with touch. What a tough shot maker he is.
Second team All SEC, was a member of the SEC All Freshman team a year ago. And if you're into mock drafts, you'll see his name in the first round. Sometimes you'll see him up in the late lottery. That's how highly that people think of Colin Murray Boyles.
And did a really good job defensively to stay in front.
Boy, I mean, Thomas is going one direction, and it's right to the rim. He is fearless.
Yeah, he's 5'11", and going after a 7'2" guy with no fear. That's exactly right. Fearless. Nailed it.
He's got 16. South Carolina hanging around here. And the foul, though, is going against Murray Boyles. All the South Carolina players and fans thought they were headed the other way. Make it Thomas. Foul on Thomas, but it is still a South Carolina foul. There. That's what the fans saw, but I don't know if the whistle blew on the
it didn't. It blew
pusher. Yep. So you can understand why Gamecock fans weren't thrilled with that whistle,
especially after you watch a replay.
Davis can't get it to go. South Carolina could make this really interesting with a basket here. Thomas, right. Tipped out by Pringle.
What a smart play by Nick Pringle.
Murray Boyles into the chest of Adu, and a foul on Jonas Adu, and that'll be number 4 on him.
That play was made by Nick Pringle, knocking it back out. Colin Murray Boyles on that tough finish, going right into the body of Ivičić, knocking him back. And then Thomas, what a tough drive, went right into his body, but still got his eyes up on the rim to complete the play.
70% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
He shoots about 6 of them a game.
Yeah. And that's, again, number 4 on Adu. He's going out, and Ivičić, who just went out, comes right back in.
And even though Ivisic is an excellent shot blocker, he's more of a weak side shot blocker. You really have to go at him. I think right now for South Carolina, they got to be thinking about getting the ball inside, letting Nick Pringle and Colin Murray-Boyles go to work.
It has been over 5.5 minutes since Arkansas made a field goal. Ellie Davis trying to turn the corner. Ooh. And out of bounds. And again, Thomas won a foul. He felt that DJ Wagner kind of blocked him from getting to that ball.
It was essentially a block out of his path to the ball. Now watch Wagner here. He just blocked him out.
Shot clock at 7. Wagner gets the switch. Extra pass to Brazile in the corner.
What a challenge by Nick Pringle. He looked like a middle blocker in volleyball going after that.
Right into Pringle, who's doubled. And he's heading to the line. Brazile the foul.
Boy, smart play by Jacoby Wright to get that ball inside to force that foul.
Gamecocks hanging around here with the Hogs.
Let's just play. Don't worry about anything except play. Get to the next play, then do another good play, right? And then get to the next thing. That's it. This is our game, guys. It's our game, but we got to play, okay? We got to play. Something bad's going to happen. We got to recover so 1 don't turn into 4, okay? And then we play.
Like many coaches, Lamont Paris is very much about the process and just do the right play. If you do the things that we're supposed to do, that you've been coached to do, things will work out. Move the ball, get a good shot, be aggressive, and so on. And right now, Jay, they're on a 15-4 run.
And being aggressive is going to be key on both ends of the floor for South Carolina right now, because Arkansas has 7 team fouls. That means every common foul, South Carolina is going to shoot free throws. South Carolina only has 3 team fouls. They can be aggressive on the defensive end without fear of putting Arkansas on the line. And they need to take advantage of that down the stretch.
Nick Pringle at the line for the Gamecocks. As Jay mentioned earlier, 18-9 against Arkansas 11 days ago, 16-14 Saturday against Tennessee. He's had some really big games recently. One thing South Carolina needs to do is knock down free throws. Arkansas is a perfect 11 of 11 today. Pringle 1 of 2, and that makes South Carolina 10 for 14.
And for the most part, South Carolina has kept Arkansas off the free throw line in this second half. But with Ivisic in the game, he was posting up earlier and I think clogging the middle of the lane. I think he needs to get out of there so that this Arkansas team has some driving lanes to get to the rim.
Adu on the bench because he's got 4 fouls. Wagner. Brazile. Ivisic. And they play on. And he's caught behind the play. Thomas right into the traffic again.
What a pass.
Beautiful feed to Pringle, but he missed the layup.
What a pass. Just wasn't finished by Pringle. How did he see him? Well, this is one of those plays that can be a little bit deflating. A terrific pass. Nick Pringle just unable to finish it right at the basket. Makes you exhale a little bit, but South Carolina has to dig in, get another stop.
Boy, that would have made it a 5-point game. Wagner, no. That's into the 12th row. Arkansas once led by as many as 20, but it's not all fun and games right now for John Calipari and the Hogs.
I think we had said that in the first half Arkansas was having fun. Not having fun right now.
They've only got 14 points in the second half.
A little wheel action by South Carolina, just get some movement.
Murray-Boyles. Bounce pass through Pringle, but Ugasuk has it. Now Thomas, again the contact. Brazil down with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have had about 3 opportunities around the rim in the last couple of minutes to make this even closer than it is.
Do those misses take away some of their defensive intensity? Because when you're down, you can't afford for that to happen.
A steal by Colin Murray Boyles.
Smart switch and really alert defense by Colin Murray Boyles. He is a great defender.
Another good pass by Thomas. Ugasuk. The rebound, Murray Boyles, and a foul on Brazil, his 3rd.
He just outworks everybody and outthinks them.
And he's playing on a bad leg.
Yeah, he's been dragging that leg all game long. But just good position inside, even got a push, but overcame it and then got fouled by Trevin Brazil.
So Brazil sits. He's got 3. Adu, who's got 4, is back in. And Murray Boyles, who is 5 for 6 from the free throw line in this game, 70% on the season. Will knock down the front end. Girlfriend Chloe Kitts looking on, part of the outstanding South Carolina women's team, as Brazil comes right back in for Ivisic. Well, you got to give him credit for the way he's played today. You got to give him credit, Colin Murray Boyles, for the way he has played all season. I mean, this whole team, they could have hung their heads with the close losses after close losses, but they continue to play hard, and we have seen that on display here today.
Was Brazil even out for a whole play?
I think he went out just for the first free throw.
Yeah, wasn't he the one that fouled Colin Murray Boyles? How was he able to come back in the game?
I'm with you. Knox. Richmond flying to the rim. And it is still Arkansas ball. 13 on the shot clock.
You have to give South Carolina a lot of credit. You know, they haven't had a ton of success in finishing plays on the offensive end before they knock down those 2 free throws, but they haven't let it affect their defense.
Arkansas has gone ice cold at the offensive end.
And give credit, the South Carolina defense has kept them out of the lane.
And Lamont Paris and Colin Murray Boyles are each beside themselves after that call.
Yeah, there's not a lot of contact there on that hard hedge.
Number 3 on Murray Boyles. It is a 5-point game, in a game in which the Hogs led by as many as 20. Wagner lost it. Thomas has it, and it's Gamecocks ball.
And Colin Murray Boyles there again as a help defender to cause that turnover. What a big possession we have right now for South Carolina on the offensive end.
Just over 5 minutes to go in regulation. Murray Boyles, and it's a 3-point game.
Great screen by Jamari Thomas.
And again, playing in pain. You can see it on his face. But he's given every ounce of what he's got for his team right now.
South Carolina has shown incredible fight in this second half. Not everything has gone the Gamecocks' way, but a terrific screen by Jamari Thomas and Colin Murray Boyles. What injured leg?
Day 1 of what is undoubtedly going to be an outstanding 5 days of basketball action here in Nashville, the SEC Men's Tournament. This is just game number 1 of 15 games over the next 5 days. The next game, it involves a team that may be on the wrong side of the bubble, the Texas Longhorns, who need a win. They will take on the Vanderbilt Commodores, and we will have it for you about 25 minutes after the conclusion of this game. This game is really really close right now. Arkansas and South Carolina. Chris Beard and Ole Miss going to take on the winner at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon locally here in Nashville tomorrow in round 2. Let's go to Jess Sims.
Coach Cal on the last huddle said, listen, guys, we made some mistakes. We missed some layups, but right now that does not matter. We need to find some guys that are going to make some winning plays. Who is going to step up? That was the question.
Well, it's a good question because they're in a real drought. They are 0 for their last 9 from the field. Billy Richmond III can't finish it. And here come the Gamecocks again.
We have had some point-blank misses in this game. And the question is, how do you react?
Butler into Murray Boyles. The jumper over Adu, and it's a 1-point game.
Well, you know he can make that shot. He can make just about any shot. But how about that catch? That was a big-time catch by Colin Murray Boyles.
And I mean, the grimacing and the limping is only getting worse, but he continues to play through it. A bruised left thigh suffered on Saturday. And then right in front of us, unable to keep it in bounds, was Jamari Thomas. It's back over to Arkansas.
Colin Murray Boyles corralled a basketball that was not easy to catch. Right in the middle of the lane. That was a tough catch. Went after it with both hands and then hits the jumper to pull his team within 1.
Ready, set.
Coming up right after the game, Darius Garland, Vanderbilt legend, will be here on set. I was going to say the winners will be here. I thought it was going to be Arkansas Fish. What's happened? When did this game turn?
3 ball, 5 of 13 in the first half, 1 of 6 in the second half, Slay.
Turnovers. USC is not turning the ball over. Arkansas can't take advantage, Hogs.
South Carolina's defense holding the Hogs to 38% in the second half.
See if Colin Murray Boyles is okay as well, too.
Yeah.
Back to the guys.
Guys, thank you. It is a game, and now in addition to a sore left thigh, Colin Murray Boyles took a shot to the face right there from Jonas Adu, but no call on the play.
The referees went and looked at it during the timeout to see if it warranted an upgrade to an F2, but that was certainly a shot while Jonas Adu was trying to rip through to make a pass along the lane line.
It has been all South Carolina the last 10 minutes or so. Arkansas has not made a field goal in almost 10.5 minutes of game time. And it is a 1-point game with less than 4 minutes to go. A loss could be devastating for Arkansas's tournament hopes. Adu is fouled as they went for the lob. But just the 5th team foul on South Carolina here in the second half.
Jacoby Wright just sort of boxing him out while he went for the lob, got the foul, but at least he took away the opportunity for 2 points. So not a bad foul at all by Jacoby Wright.
Davis, no. Murray Boyles, who else has it for South Carolina?
His hands are like vice grips.
They have not led since midway through the first half when it was 21-19. They've got a chance to take the lead here. Good anticipation by Nellie Davis. And it's tipped in, but wave it off. They're going to wave it off, and they're going to look at it. They cannot go look at it unless they make the call on the floor that it's basket interference, and the officials are going to the monitor.
The previous play is under further review.
Adu was right there with 2 hands. The question is, did the ball clear the cylinder? When you go for the block shot, that opens up the offensive glass, and I don't think it did. That's no good.
That's in the cylinder.
After review, the call on the floor of basket interference has been confirmed.
So no basket. John Calipari getting confirmation. All the momentum belongs to South Carolina, the 16 seed, playing for pride, trying to play spoiler. Murray Boyles dealing with multiple physical ailments right now, and they got a chance to take the lead.
In the first game these two teams played, Arkansas scored 14 points in the first half. They were horrible. You know how many points they got in the second half? 14.
And they haven't scored a point in 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Jamari Thomas has had a heck of a game for the Gamecocks as well. Wright defended by Davis. Now one-on-one. Murray Boyles driving on Adu. Can't get it to go.
Tried to draw the contact, just didn't get the call.
And now away from the ball, Jordan Butler called for a foul.
Yeah, he was wrestling with Jonas Adu. That's shocking that he didn't get that call. I mean, that's a foul, period.
The foul on Butler, the 6th on South Carolina. So Butler in there at crunch time. Pringle, who has not had a good day today, on the bench right now for South Carolina. Nellie Davis a miss. Butler did not see, or did not appear to see, the rebound was near him, and it cost them 3 as Wagner drowns it.
That is a rebound that Jordan Butler has to get.
Murray Boyles inside. Wright misses the lay-in. Butler has it blocked by Brazil. South Carolina ball, and costly plays at both ends for the Gamecocks.
South Carolina unable to grab the defensive board on the right side of the basket. Jordan Butler right there to get it. He just didn't get it. He was looking for somebody to block out. Trevin Brazil was coming in from the right side. And it's amazing, after an offensive rebound, how that leads to a step-in 3 and a great block by Trevin Brazil. And then he went hard over the South Carolina bench. I think he knocked down 5 chairs trying to go for that ball.
Back on the court, and okay, a 4-point lead now for the Razorbacks. 2:14 to go. And South Carolina basketball.
There's still a long way to go in this game. South Carolina's shown resilience. They need to show more.
Wright the kick. Ugasu can't get the 3 off. 4 on the shot clock. Wright the shot. And a foul is called underneath just before the shot clock would have expired, and it's going against Arkansas.
They might have to look at whether the foul was committed before the shot clock violation. Well, apparently they're not going to. The referee must have been confident that it was.
Wagner called for the foul. 1-and-1 coming for Jacoby Wright.
Oh, they called it on Wagner on the shot? Because you have to let the player land.
You're right, 2 shots. So they called it on DJ Wagner on the shot attempt by Jacoby Wright.
Boy, that's an interesting call. Didn't look like there was enough contact. But as long as the shot's released in time, it doesn't matter about the shot clock violation. You have to let the player land.
Wright makes them both, and it's a 2-point game. What a way to get this tournament started. Number 9, the 9 seed Arkansas, the 16 seed South Carolina in a 1-possession game. Adu with the left hand. No. The tip, yes, by Brazil.
Boy, late game blockouts have really hurt South Carolina. That's 2 offensive rebounds in a row. That's led to 5 points.
Ugasuk with an air ball. And Richmond gets it over for Arkansas with less than 1:20 to go.
That was not the best shot that South Carolina could have gotten on that possession. It was rushed.
Brazil. Now Wagner for three. Here comes Thomas. We're in the final minute. Murray Boyles, a long cross-court pass to Wright. Right off the glass and in. And again, it's a 2-point game.
Strong drive, and Nick Pringle did a really nice job of trying to seal off the help so nobody could block it.
And John Calipari wants a timeout. What a game. The Gamecocks were down 17 at the half, as many as 20 early in the second half. Jacoby Wright now with a double figures with 11 to make it a 2-point game.
Jonas Aidoo had to stick there a little bit longer because of the presence of Nick Pringle. That was helpful in Jacoby Wright getting off that shot. But how about Colin Murray Boyles giving the ball up? Like, he's so unselfish. He thought he's going to take it on his own when South Carolina really needed a bucket.
A game that could mean everything for Arkansas trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Colin Murray Boyles showing what SEC fans know all too well. He's one of the best players in this conference.
Well, he plays a complete game. When you're praising his offense, and that's worthy of a lot of praise, his defense just as effective, if not more so. Terrific screen. Yeah, he needs a cut man.
I mean, he's got a bloody lip, he's got a sore thigh, and he's got 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Right now, with Arkansas having the ball, 37.5 left in regulation, I think Arkansas has to be thinking about getting that ball to the basket. Put South Carolina in a position to foul, and then everybody's got to crash the offensive glass, because the Razorbacks, if they wind up holding on here, and it's going to be by the skin of their teeth, it's going to be the offensive glass that made the difference. Not grabbing a defensive rebound on those two most recent possessions cost South Carolina 5 points in this game.
There have been a number of what-ifs, blockouts, missed layups at the offensive end, and you got to give them an unbelievable amount of credit for how hard they played in the second half. They could have at halftime, you know, not vocally, but they could have said, it's over. The season's over. Down 17. This would have been their last game, but they are not willing to go home just yet. They've got designs on an upset, trying to beat the Hogs for the second time in a couple of weeks, and trying to move into the second round.
It's not just about the initial shot here by Arkansas. It's about the rebound.
Pringle is back into the game now for South Carolina. Nellie Davis, left hand, it goes.
It looked like Jonas Aidoo was going to set a ball screen. Instead, he set a little pin down for Davis to allow him to turn the corner and get to the rim.
They don't need a three, but they need a quick score. Thomas will try a three way off. Arkansas's got it, and now they've got a foul.
Late game execution. Oftentimes these games come down to just that. And after the timeout, Arkansas did a great job of executing. There's the wide pin down. That gets Jacoby Wright chasing. And it gets John L. Davis all the way to the rim to score with that left hand.
Davis now in double figures with 10, the fourth Arkansas player into double figures, as the Hogs look to advance to the second round and a meeting with Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon. This game kind of emblematic of what South Carolina has experienced a lot this season. They are in so many games, but they have come up just short in almost all of them.
I cannot imagine, Dan, that I've ever seen a team in last place as good as South Carolina. No. I don't think there's ever been one.
Ask the Clemson Tigers how good they are. Clemson, you know, second or third best team in the ACC, depending on how you look at it. South Carolina beat them. earlier this year. And as we mentioned, took Florida, Auburn, and others right down to the final possession. And they certainly put themselves in that kind of a position here today. But some mistakes at both ends of the floor in the last couple of minutes have cost them. And Arkansas is now back up by 6.
But the way this South Carolina team fought back in this second half, the play of Jamari Thomas. We've talked a lot about, and rightfully so, Colin Murray Boyles. Just a ton of fight by the Gamecocks.
.7 seconds to go. Back up to a 6-point lead when they had gotten it down to 2. Again, the winner will take on Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon. We'll have that game for you here with the SEC Network. Chris Beard is in the house. And 25 minutes after the conclusion of this one, we'll have Texas and Vandy for you. A huge game for the Longhorns and a very big game for the Commodores, who want to assure themselves of a spot in the NCAA tournament. The winner of that one will get Texas A&M. And those two teams waiting patiently for their opportunity to get on the floor. Longhorns in the house. Trey Johnson, the freshman of the year for the SEC, the leading scorer. You see him towards the right of your screen right there, a 20-point-per-game guy. He will lead Texas against Jason Edwards and Vandy. The Commodores were picked dead last in this league before the season started. And they went 8-10 in the toughest league in America.
And 20-11 overall. Mark Byington has done a tremendous job with the Vanderbilt program. And they're not just Jason Edwards, who's an outstanding scorer, just 6'1", transferred to Vanderbilt from North Texas. But they've got Tyler Nickel, started out at North Carolina, played at Virginia Tech, and A.J. Hoggard, who transferred in from Michigan State. They're legit.
South Carolina ball. But off the fingertips of Murray Boyles, and there's one more foul, but Arkansas fans can feel it right now.
I'm not sure why South Carolina thought they needed to throw that long pass. I know they wanted to advance it quickly, but just down 2 possessions, there's plenty of time to get it up and get a 3. Keeping the ball secure is job number 1.
Another reason why Arkansas has the lead. They have done the job at the line today as a team, a perfect 13 for 13.
And for the most part, South Carolina kept them off the line. Heck, the last 5 games, Arkansas is averaging about 29 free throws a game.
First miss of the game, and it's on the front end of a 1-and-1. Wright will get the layup to get it down to 4, but just 8.4 seconds remain.
Yeah, still a 2-possession game.
Got to get it in. A timeout called. The last timeout for the Hogs.
Really what South Carolina needs here is a 5-second call.
Yeah. The first of many things that they need here.
That's why in that situation, a little surprised that the Gamecocks didn't pull up for a 3 there.
John Calipari diagramming a play to try to allow his team to get the ball in.
And you can certainly look to go long here. You're not as worried about where you catch it. Oftentimes you don't want to catch it below the free throw line extended. But you can look long here, and he can still run the baseline. Billy Richmond needs to remember that. I'm sure he's being reminded by the officials.
Into Brazil. Knocked away by Murray Boyles. Cam Scott will dunk it. It's a 2-point game with 3.2 seconds to go.
But all you have to do is catch it. There's no reason to try to throw it down court. Catch the ball and hold it. You catch, face the defense. If you need to dribble, fine. But there was no reason for Arkansas to let that ball go after the catch. Once Brazile catches this, maybe he's concerned he might walk or with Colin Murray Boyles there, but that was not a smart play by Arkansas.
And a very smart play by Colin Murray Boyles.
He's got an aptitude for this game you just don't see very often.
And also smart by Scott. Remember, he's a freshman. Didn't pull up for a three. I mean, he had a lane. He understood the situation. Took the guaranteed 2, knowing there's still 3 seconds left in this game. And now again, the pressure on Arkansas to get the ball in. They do not have a timeout.
Arkansas again, after the made field goal, will be able to run the baseline. And all you have to do here is get it in. A clean pass, clean catch, and the game will basically be over.
Richmond again. Into Davis, and a foul with 2.3 to go. And was that on Murray Boyles? It is. That foul was on Colin Murray Boyles, and he has fouled out of the game. But at this point, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be him, but yeah.
Not a lot of choices.
If he's the guy in the area, he's got to give the foul. It's 1-1 here for Arkansas for Nelly Davis. Nick Pringle is going to re-enter the game for Colin Murray Boyles, who gets a well-deserved ovation from the South Carolina fans. Just a great effort today, and a great effort that he gave all season long for this Gamecocks team.
Just a great player.
Yep.
A complete basketball player. And talk about battling through adversity.
Davis at the line, 83% on the season. Butler is going to return. A 7-footer can help on the glass. He can also knock down a long shot. They put a couple of tenths of second back on the clock, so it's 2.5. And Davis makes the first. One more to basically salt it away.
Arkansas going to pull their rebounders completely off the lane.
Banked it in.
Why would he be worried about it? Just make it. The game's over.
The shot. Yeah.
Like, why would you try to miss that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
John Calipari is laughing with him. I guess they can laugh now.
But I don't know why he was even trying that.
You'd rather a 4-point lead than taking a little bit of extra time off the clock.
Yeah.
Make it 4. Make it impossible for him.
4-point lead. He can't lose.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at all. But it worked out great. He's such a good free throw shooter, he can't even miss. I'm trying to. Can you think of any reason why you would do that?
I
why would you do
assume
that?
just to run a little bit more time off the clock by the time somebody brought down the rebound. But I would take the 4-point lead.
Yeah, why would you care?
I don't know.
Like, let him go down and score. There's no way. That doesn't make sense.
I'm with you.
You can't make a 3 in that amount of time.
So now, as long as nothing crazy happens, and we've had a couple of mildly crazy things happen in the last couple of minutes.
We just saw one.
Yes. But as long as nothing really crazy happens, Arkansas is going to move on to the second round. Scott will inbound it. Texas and Vandy coming next. And all Arkansas's got to do is stay away from them. Brazile with the interception, and that's the game. Arkansas got pushed. South Carolina with a game effort, but the Razorbacks have picked up the win and will advance to the second round against the Ole Miss Rebels tomorrow afternoon. 4 in double figures, led by Trevin Brazile, who had 16, and another heartbreaking loss for South Carolina as they knew they had a chance. They fought back into it in the second half, gave themselves a chance to win, but they come up just short. So it'll be the Razorbacks and the Rebels tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon local here on the SEC Network, with the winner to advance into the quarterfinals against the top seed Auburn. We've still got Vandy, Texas to come, looking to move into the second round. And then the evening session, Mississippi State, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma. Every single game in this tournament is so meaningful. Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, Molly McGrath will have the evening sessions for you. Jay and I and Jess will be right back with you shortly for Vandy and Texas in another very important opening day game here in the SEC tournament. 72-68 the final as Arkansas hangs on. Let's go to Jess Sims with Trevin Brazile.
Trevin, 16 points, 7 boards, but most importantly, some huge plays on both ends of the court to finish the game. What was your mindset in those final minutes?
I mean, man, we lost this team about a week ago. You know, they killed us, so we were just trying to come out in a killer mindset. You know, we did that and we got the win.
Well, they made a huge run, had a lot of momentum, but they never took the lead back. What did you learn about your team today?
I mean, stuff I already knew. We've been fighting all year. You know, it's nothing different. We knew they were going to make a run. They're a good team, obviously. But, you know, we stuck it out, Dan.
Thanks so much. Congratulations.
They get Ole Miss tomorrow. Ole Miss got them in January in the only regular season meeting between the two. A close one, a hard-fought game in the opening game of the SEC tournament. The final score, the Arkansas Razorbacks 72, the South Carolina Gamecocks 68. We're back in a bit for Vandy and Texas, but first to Peter and the guys.